Boo! Rah! Ha! Ha! I'm sorry. It's me. Hello, everyone. Howdy, howdy. I... Daredevil. That's crazy. I am here because I have a lot of creative energy I need to release, and I have actual other things I need to do today. So I'm going to expel them here, and then I can get to work on my own thing, and maybe even watch television while I do them. We're currently listening to my Bugtown pellets on Epidemic Sound. Link is always in the description of the VOD. Hopefully it doesn't stop halfway through, like last time. But I want to have this occasionally. I don't want to use it every single time, because then like the music gets repetitive, you hear it too much. But I do want it to be a consistent through line throughout this series of streams. We are currently working on... Today. We finished up the starter house, we finished up the farms. Today I want to work on, as the title implies, tea. I want to work on tea houses. There's very specifically a huge part of Momoyama Japanese period that has to do with tea houses. And I am going to, once again, split this stream into 3 parts. The first part will be education. I will be teaching. I will be revealing the context of what I want to be teaching today. Then we're going to the creative world, so I can start putting into action the architectural things that we have learned. Let me see if I can find what I was actually going to show you guys. If anything else, I do have a book that I can read, but I'm pretty sure I can find it. Yeah, there it is. But I have to log. I have to log into archive.org. Hello, Rain. Alright, so I think the best place to start in terms of teaching about tea houses should be on their setting. I'm going to introduce to you the concept of a specific type of garden. There's multiple different types of garden, and to do this, we're looking at this website. It is called japanobjects.com because they cover a lot of Japanese objects. I know, surprise, surprise. So, this is an article by Anaka Ogusu, and so the first parts of these aren't relevant to what we're going to be doing today. The dry landscape garden is something I do want to try and replicate at some point in the future, but because it is a big part of the Zen Buddhism movement that was part of the Muromachi and Momoyama periods in Japan, but we're not going to be looking at this today. But it is something to keep in mind that we are going to be doing something with this today. With this later. My apologies. This is a study garden. It was literally just you looked out the window and you saw that nice garden outside your window, basically like a painting, but you're really rich. You can own all that space to make the actual nature, the painting on your wall. Strolling garden is a garden that you walk through. Simple enough. Again, there's specifications to all of this that we might go into one day, but not today. This, however, is the tea garden, and below it is the courtyard garden. Now, we're not going to build a courtyard garden, but I want to just instill some ideas from the courtyard garden that do become important. So courtyard gardens were gardens inside of the home. And they had various water features that were also seen in tea house gardens. Like this. This is, as houses grew bigger, courtyard gardens took on the function of regulating the temperature and airflow in the home during the long hot summers. But various water features were particularly effective for this and are used in many types of Japanese garden. So these, what you're about to see, are also used in tea gardens. A tsukuba is a hand-washing basin composed of several elements that is commonly used in Japanese tea gardens. There is a basin in the middle with 2 stones on either side. Right here. Water flows into the basin through a bamboo tube, and a lantern at the back helps to guide the guest towards it. The Suikenkitsu is a popular, almost musical feature of a garden. A jar is buried upside down in the ground and covered with cobblestones. As water drips through a hole in the bottom of the jar and hits the standing water at its top, it makes a sound like a harp. Basically, this is also another fountain that makes noise, but it was a cracking noise that would like startle like a deer walking by. That's why they called it the deer scarer. But it was just for, again, a type of fountain, a type of basin. And so, while these aren't important, like irrelevant to like the culture of the fact that the garden exists, it is something that is seen very commonly in these gardens. It would be pretty cool to try and find like a way to allude to these types of fountains. Because as you'll find out, tea houses by themselves weren't just lone structures. Their identity existed based on the fact that they were for peace, right? It was Zen, it was peaceful. And so, before you could enter the tea house, you had to walk through the tea garden. And tea houses were always in secluded areas, far away from the city, and in forests, in nature. And because it was supposed to remove that urban environment from your mind. So Japanese tea gardens, known as Dainiwa or Roji, are always connected to a tea room or a tea house and are an integral part of the tea ceremony. The garden is an important instrument for the guest's mental preparation. Walking from the entrance of the garden towards the tea room, guests purify themselves through various rituals in order to achieve the right mindset for the coming ceremony. A typical tea garden has one or more gates, waiting shelters, a toilet, stepping stones, a water basin, tsukubai, a waste hole, and mostly evergreen non-flowering plants. Japanese garden design relies on a variety of different trees and shrubs, but one particular distinguishing feature is the extensive use of moss. The most commonly seen trees are the black pine, red pine, and the Japanese maple. Other evergreen shrubs, which can be found in almost every Japanese garden, are the camellia, Procarpus macrophyllus. These don't matter. We're not going to worry about that. Azalea, though, we do have those in Minecraft, so that may be important. The moss, especially, is the important part. Several varieties of mosses are cultivated, with the most common type being the Sukigoke, a polytrichum variety, like the Racemmetrium. Racemmetrium canescens is becoming more and more popular. So, the reason I'm bringing up this garden is before we get into the culture of the tea house, we're going to get into this, the layout of a tea house. I wanted to mention that we need to build not just the building, but the exterior. This is the start of being like, these things are important. Like, set you up. Get you into the mindset of, oh, there's a ceremony, a ritual before. It's a mindset to be in the tea house. So again, we're not just building a building, we're building an environment. And not just an environment physically with the actual nature, but an environment mentally. We gotta make the place feel nice to be in. So, this one is an article specifically about tea houses. This one is about the gardens. With this mention of tea houses, these are the actual tea houses themselves. Now, we're not going to read all of this, because that would be ridiculous. I'm going to link these articles below, so you don't have to worry, you can read them on your own time. But I certainly want to mention the fact there are multitudes of layouts, and the way that the house is built. So, a traditional Japanese tea house is surrounded by a garden named Roji, dewy ground, named for the moss. This garden is made up of elements necessary for the accomplishment of the tea gathering and meditation before entering the tea house. A stone path allows the progression of the guests. You can see this stone path. This is not... So the crawl door is the entrance. And there's a stone path going out through the garden. There's also secondary entrances for staff and the host of the tea party. But the crawl door is the main entrance for the guests. And so you would go through the garden, up along the stone path, and you would have to crawl through this door. And we'll get to the reason that you have to crawl in a second. But then there is an interior that often looks like this. With this alcove that we're going to get into, and this is where the tea would be cooked, and they had these things called tatami mats. And the tatami mats are also important due to something we're also going to get into. Near the tea house is a stone water basin where the guests have to cleanse their hands and their mouths before entering the tea rooms without shoes through a nijiguruchi, which is the crawling entrance. This low and square small door separates the quiet tea space from the outside environment. It means that people of any social status or rank have to bend and crawl through the small door to enter. This has to be done on all fours, clenched fists, sliding on the knees. Samurai had to leave their swords outside of the tea room. And so this puts everyone on the equal footing. You know, everyone in here, when we're doing our trades, our bargaining, our deals, our parlays, right? It is about the fact that you're all equal in the tea house. So it has to be a humble environment. It can't be too lavish. Now again, as time goes on, and these kinds of things that are built to not be lavish become more popular, they end up becoming lavish. That is just the nature of how things work. Is it looping? I think I accidentally set it to loop. Stop that. Besides the Nijiriguchi, the guest entrance, there may be several more entrances. There are at least another entrance for the host named Soroguchi that leads to the Mizuya. In terms of size, the smallest tea house usually has 2 rooms, blah blah blah. Now, these aren't the only types of layouts for tea houses, but these are quite a few of them, right? And you can see here, this is the one that we're going to be building. We can have 3 mats, you could have 4 mats arranged like this, you could, the mats produced like this, blah, 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 blah. The whole point of these, though, is that the room will not have a line of symmetry. The asymmetry, even if it's an aesthetically pleasing pattern that maybe feels symmetrical, the point of it is that there is no symmetry. That is an important part of the way that this is made for the zenness of the establishment. I've been doing research on tea houses for like the past week for this build, and so it's kind of just ridiculous just how much reading I've been doing, because again, I'm also doing this in between my actual classes and also trying to edit videos, which, by the way, oh my god, new Third Life episode came out 2 days ago, and it's a banger. It's really good. I've had nothing but good reviews for it. There's an animation bit right in the middle where I do a little bit of animation, and I've gotten compliments on that one. Not even like some people like refuse to be sent clips, because I usually send my friends bits and pieces of the videos while I'm editing them, and like 2 or 3 of them like, I'm not allowing you to send me anything until you're done with this video. I want you to finish this video. I'm like, god damn it, man. I'm gonna drink some water. I threw out my straw, but I just have this plastic cup that had ice in it, and so I was like, you know what? We don't need straws. Human beings have been drinking with their mouths sans straw for ages, so you know what? There is no fixed tatami mat layout in Chasitsu. The complete construction of a tea house may be reduced to only 3 tatami mats. That one has 2, buddy. I don't believe you. A small tea room may have a total surface of 1.75 tatami mats. Oh, the complete construction, but the actual room itself. Okay, no, never mind. Okay, I believe you. It comprises a full tatami mat for the guest and a daime. 3/4 the length of a full tatami mat for the host. But full tatami mat for the guest. Anyway, large tea houses may have several tea rooms: a waiting room, a welcoming area where guests may remove their shoes, a changing room, bathrooms, a large mizuya, and sometimes several other rooms, as well as a garden or an outdoor waiting area. We're going to be building a relatively humble one. They may comprise 10 tatami mats or more. For more details about tatami forming their layouts, head over to What are tatami mats? All you need to know. Now, we're not actually going to read this, but it is nice to just see all this. Look at it. Look at all these beautiful pictures. They're gorgeous. Like, these mats are just really nice. So, let's just admire, and then we'll go back. Anyway, nevertheless, 4.5 mats are generally considered as a standard for modern tea rooms, and this type of room is named Koma. That is this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the half a mat with the oven, not the oven, the stove. That is what we're going to be building, which is it's square, so it's going to make our life a little bit easier. But we're going to have to be building, the the entrance, the waiting room, all those such and such, right? Chashitsu that are larger than 4.5 mats in Hiroma, blah blah blah. There you go. Let's see, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, the soji paper panels, these are important. We're going to be using birch trap doors to try and replicate the vibe of paper doors, because we don't have those in Minecraft. We have to note that even though there's a lot of use of the paper doors, they are not the sole existence of wall in these things. I'm going to be trying and use them a lot to like embody the vibe, because shoji doors are grids, right? They have these big grid patterns that go across. They're not perfect squares, but they are grids. And to fully give off the vibe that you want to be looking for of a shoji door, you end up having to utilize, because each birch trap door gives one of these paper slots. So even though the whole wall in like a place like this, or like this, like they have these as part of the walls, but they don't have the entire wall be that, you know? And so it becomes like a balance of how we have to put in like a lot to give off the vibe of a grid pattern, but we cannot make the entire wall shoji. So I'm going to be trying to balance that, because due to the fact that these buildings have to be small, we're going to have to start taking creative liberties. Here we go. The garden isn't... That's what we already read. Right, the alcove. So, this is the alcove right here. This is a banner. They have artwork, they have symbols. This is, you know, empty space with some negative space with positive space. There's balance, zen, such and such. One of the most important parts of the room is the tokonoma, where a scroll of calligraphy or a brush painting is hung. A flower arrangement named chabana is often placed in the tokonoma. Guests are seated next to the tokonoma, the first guest being the closest to the alcove. So the way this would work, if I can show you the layout again, you enter through here, and let's say the stove is right here in the center, and the mats are going around in a circle around it. Guests would sit here and go, because the host would sit here, and I believe guests would start here and go counterclockwise towards the host as they enter. I'm pretty sure. I know there's an order in which they sit. I just don't remember if it's clockwise or counterclockwise. But I believe since this is the alcove, this is the alcove, and this is the entrance that like the host and the servants would make the tea, like prepare like leaves and such, while the actual stove is here. I believe the host would have to sit here, and if the first guest goes here, then it would go in that order. Which would also make sense with the way that the door works. But don't quote me on that. Hopefully I'll find something in the articles I pulled up. Because I skimmed these to make sure these were like relevant to what I want to be talking about today without fully reading them through, because again, I've been pretty busy. A kakijiku is hung in the tokonoma. It's always related to the season or the occasion. I have something for this. It is chosen by the tea master to reflect the day's tea ceremony. We're just going to have the same one each time, though I would like to change them every now and then, but we're mostly going to have just one. The kakijiku's frame is often adorned with antique Japanese brocade. Now, I don't know what that word means. A heavy fabric interwoven with a rich raised design. Oh, okay, it's stuff behind it. Okay, that's fine. Chabana is a seasonal tea arrangement placed in a simple basket or glass, which is often made of bamboo, bronze, glass arrangements. So it's this little thing right here. Let's see if there's anything else here that needs to be especially focused on. Yeah, it's the hearth directly in the center of this area. This can be used to warm the room, though the teapot can also be placed on top of it. I know there's some specifications about when you place the teapot, and such. Yeah, because in some of the hearth is covered by tatami, which probably because it'll be too hot in the room in order to use the hearth to heat the tea, and so they would use a portable brazier, apparently. Though I think they get into that in a different article that we're going to read. This is no longer the same side of Japan Objects. This is Millennium Gallery, JP, which is just Japan. So it's history, design, significance. Once again, we just want to focus on the important stuff. Here, wabi-sabi. This is an especially important thing to mention. It is one of the whole aesthetic things. It explains the asymmetry. It explains it's connected to the Zen Buddhism stuff. It's everywhere. It's especially important to Japan. Now, did I write about that in my notes? I do remember writing words about wabi-sabi. Whether or not I made import of it. There's a whole other question. Ah. I'm gonna rip my hair out. I might have written it, just not in my section with the rest of the Japan stuff. Because I know I wrote it down. Like, I know for a fact I wrote it down. And so, not being able to find it is upsetting. Really? That's evil. I promise I had it in my notes at some point. Look. Alright, look. I just got an A on one of my registered exams, and a B+ on the other one. And that's on a field of art that I don't like that much. So the fact that I got a good grade at all is fine. Anyway, so the Chasitsu is not merely a building, but a space with a deep-rooted spirituality and history within Japanese culture. Its origins date back to the late Muromachi period, when the tea ceremony became popular and Chasitsu began to be built. The Norikyu, in particular, designed numerous Chasitsu based on the spirit of Wabi-cha, that's Cha's tea, which pursues simple and unadorned beauty. The natural treasure Tai-an is one of the best examples of Rikyu's ideal tea house. Other tea masters such as Urakusai with his Joan and Joan, and Koboru Enshu with his Mitsuan, also created tea houses based on their own philosophies, enriching Japanese tea culture. While undergoing changes and developments over time, Chasitsu has always been centered on the uniquely Japanese aesthetic of a wabi-sabi, finding beauty in imperfection. Aiming to discover profound beauty in natural materials and simple construction, the philosophy has significantly influenced residential architecture, leaving its mark on traditional Japanese houses. Did I write wabi-sabi not in my Asian art history class? Hi Rain, thank you, congrats. Did I write it in my Japanese, man? Because in the... What would it be? Okay, so Edo period Japan happened from 1603 to about 1867, right? And this was after Muromachi and Momoyama. And this would then lead to... The Edo period would be when Japan started interacting with the rest of the world. Because originally they only had like a trade relation with the Dutch? Don't quote me on that. But basically they only had limited trade with the West. They barely interacted. And so when the Japan started doing trade, they started going like, hey, we have all these wares, you can do this. This influenced the art world with a movement called Japanisme. And people like, what's his name? Van Gogh would be really inspired by this artwork. Or Mary Cassatt, or James Tissot. Yeah, so a lot of artists were like buying a lot of Japanese artwork. Thank you, Rain. And so, I believe I didn't write Wabi Sabi here either. I probably just lost some of my notes, to be perfectly honest. Because I know there's like a lot of notes that I remember writing that I apparently just don't have anymore. Maybe I keep it like a folder. That's cute. I have like a little note from someone that says you are amazing. Thanks. People pass notes to be a class. What the hell? I literally got a note like one time where it was just like an index card that we were all given index cards in class, and I got up to go to the bathroom, and I came back to my index card, which we were just getting index cards with numbers on them to like designate which group we were going to be in. So I left to go to the bathroom. I came back, my card was just covered in little drawings of hearts. I'm like, wow, that's all right, man. Don't reveal your identity, I guess. Just do that. Anyway, beauty and perfection, profound beauty, natural materials of construction. What we got? Chasuju is not just a building, it symbolizes Japanese aesthetics and the spirit of hospitality, harmonizing with nature and seeking peace of mind. Each component carries a deep meaning. So now that we mentioned there were multiple components, we're going to get to what each one does. So, Roji, the garden path, provides a gradual transition from the outside world to the extraordinary space of the tea house. Now, this is not just extraordinary, it's like, whoa, out of this world, really cool, awesome, like literally out of the ordinary. Like, we're using this in its literal definition. Walking on the stone pavement, there's little rocks that lead to the place, calming the mind at the tsukubai, the water basin for cleansing your hands and your mouth, and appreciating the natural scenery. Visitors are freed from the hustle and bustle of daily city life and invited into the world of tea. I'm pretty sure there's a better way to phrase that. Nijiriguchi. The Nijiriguchi is a small entrance to the Chasuju, about 60 to 70 centimeters square. We're just going to make it like a block tall, maybe 2 blocks. Like, again, we're scaling up some things because it's a bit hard to work out this stuff. By passing through this small entrance, people humble themselves and enter the tea house with a modest attitude. Okay, then maybe we can do like 4 stairs so there is a central square to walk through, but it's not like too far away from the wall or too pressed up against the wall. And we can use trapdoors to put you into crawl mode. Yeah. Yeah, that'll probably work it out. We'll have to experiment with that. By passing through this small entrance, people hold themselves under the tea house with a modest attitude. It symbolizes the tea house is a space where everyone, regardless of social status, can enjoy tea equally. They're focusing a lot on the tea. It's also, tea houses were used to delegate. Ro and Fudo hearths. Chasuju use Ro in winter and Fudo, portable brazier, in summer to maintain a comfortable temperature. I think it's a brazier, because brassiere is how I'm pronouncing like brazier as brazier. It was just like a brassiere, which is a piece of clothing. I think it might be a brazier, like Frasier, Alpha Rat's cat, and no one else. This reflects the host consideration. I just referenced a random YouTuber's cat. He's a pretty famous cat. He's on Twitter every now and then. He's a well-known cat. Providing a comfortable space for guests. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Hearth in winter so that you can actually warm up the room, and a portable brazier so the actual room isn't getting heated up, it's just the tea. Though it will still heat up the room a little bit, but it is to make it a little bit more comfortable. The tokonoma, the alcove in the wall, is where a hanging scroll and flowers are displayed. It is decorated in various ways according to the theme. It is an essential element indicating the nature of the tea gathering. The ceiling differs between Shoin and Suan style of Soan. In Shoin Chashitsu, the entire ceiling is built at a uniform height, while in Soan Chashitsu, the ceiling above the guest area is higher. We're going to be building it at a uniform height. We're going with Shoin. This reflects the Japanese culture practice of placing guests in a high position, showing respect for them. We are not putting the guests at a higher position. We are putting them at an equal position. So, museum preparation area. Space adjacent to the chashitsu for washing tea utensils and preparing the tea. To avoid compromising the aesthetics of the chashitsu, the museum is concealed from view, and the tea ceremony preparations are carried out there. That is usually behind a sliding door. The combination of these elements allows the chashitsu to function as a space that harmonizes with the nature and provides peace of mind. When visiting a chashitsu, pay attention to these elements and explore its profound world. You don't have to do that. You don't have to visit a chashitsu. I would love to. They look so pretty. Like, again, look at these places. They are so gorgeous. Hold on. Let me pull up the thing I want to pull up. So this is loading, but this is the actual book that I have purchased. It is available online, and this is the 1962 version. I believe the version that I have purchased is... Oh my god, it's also 1962. I thought about an updated version. No, I just have... No, the patron is borrowing this book. I can still read it. We'll be fine. We're going to chapter 3. We're gonna have to wait for the other person borrowing it to give it back up. But I think it was me on my other account. I switched accounts of archive. That's on me. That's on me. Oh, I'll read it out loud anyway when I get there. Let's see. Is the rest of this important? I think it was just that part that I wanted to mention. So these are the specific parts that we have to include in our TOs. It is these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have to keep in mind that we have a checklist. Now this is one of the versions of a TOs. This is from patterns.jp. Patterns with a Z. It is called Japanese Tea House Building Plan, Traditional Yojohan 4.5 tatami mat style. And so we can see this is where the spiral of the tea mats we're going to go. In this room right here, this would be the Chasitsu tea room. Over here would be the Mizuya. The alcove would go here. So this is the entrance for the workers. This is the entrance for the guests. This is the stone path that leads you up there. This is a window to let some light in along with these guys. And these are also paper doors. This one's just a bamboo grill, so you just not have paper here, I believe. Or maybe there is paper here. I think there is paper here. But these are just normal soji. We're going to build something more elaborate than this. But remember, notice, the building is not symmetrical. None of the rooms give a sense of symmetry, but yet it still feels balanced. The windows are not the same on any wall. It's important. We're going to get to this. And these are some examples of Japanese design architecture. This is the picture from this right here. You can see this is a nice example of a Rinji. These nice rocks, these trees, moss everywhere, the stone path. You can see the aesthetic is very calming. This is the entrance. Right here's the door. Here's the bamboo grill above the door that they showed in this picture as well. And then some more windows, ventilation. This gives you more detail on like the equality of everyone entering. You discard your title, your position. You are as pure as when you were born. It is similar to the idea of the Shinto Tori gates, where one side was outside world, the other world was it was normal versus paranormal, that kind of a thing. And so similarly, you have to clean yourself before you enter the tea house. You have to clean yourself before you walk through the Shinto gate. There's a lot of entrances being places that you have to that change you in Japanese culture. These are the koma mats, pardon. Yeah, here's the hearth. There will usually be a charcoal pit in the center of the room, and cutting a piece of the tatami is used to boil water. So that's the oven that we're talking about, the stove. God damn it. But from November to April, a hearth was installed in the pit, but from May to October, the hearth is covered back up with tatami. A portable stove is used instead for heat. So this is more because the walls are, again, one of the most difficult ones that I'm going to try and figure out for this build. It's not looping again, is it? It's not. Okay, I'm not going inside. The alcove the wall of the alcove is plastered on the floor made of wooden paneling or tatami. The washroom, the mizuya. Alright, so you can see here. This is a separate entrance that goes to a different area. That is sort of mizuya. This is the shoji door that were covered up. This is the alcove. Here's where they would keep some of the tea stuff inside. And here's the mats where they would serve and drink tea. Now this is a bigger one. This is not a koma. It's not koma. You gotta pronounce it differently so you don't just think people are passing out. Hold on. Let me switch to my other account. Let me try and amend this. Return now. There we go. So this book is called From Castle to Tea House, and I have complained about this before, I think, on stream. But if not to stream, then to my friends for sure. But the book is called From Castle to Tea House, and I want you to look at this table of contents with me. I need you to understand the sheer rage that this fills me with. The castle, the Shoin Mansion, the Sukiya Tea House, Painties, Gardens, and Gates within a castle. Azuchi Castle, Osaka Castle, Fushimi Castle, tons of words about Fushimi Castle, Nijo Castle, Nagoya Castle, palaces, the gates of the castle. It's just, there's one tea house in here. And you might be thinking, alright, well the tea house goes from page 33 to page 44. That's about 10, 11 pages. Number one, it's 10. But number two, it's 3 pages. The other 7 other pages are pictures. If I'm going to take you... Let me take you to page 33. So, words on page 1, words on page 2, picture, picture. Come on, load. Let me prove you. They're kind of useless. Picture. This is also a picture. These are pictures, these are pictures. This will also be another picture, this will be another picture. This will be another picture, and words. That's 2.5 pages of words. The rest are pictures. Now, suffice it to... Oh, sorry, my bad. 3.5 pictures. 3.5 pages of words. The rest are pictures. Let me check the inside of my book. Yeah, okay. 3.5, my bad. Now again, these pictures, incredibly useful. Very, very important to have. However, you cannot call yourself From Castle to Tea House if you have 3.5 pages of words, 6 pages of pictures, and that is all you have on tea houses, and the rest is castle. You are from castles to castles, with a brief mention of tea houses. Anyway, these are all very interesting things to read. And again, I don't want to just reboot the entire book, so you can find this on archive.org. It is up there from Castle to Tea House. It is very interesting to read. You will have to wait till other people are done borrowing it, like me. But there are specific things I want to mention, which is this on this last page. In the tea room, the fear of repetition is a constant presence. This is by Okakura Kakuza, the author of the Book of Tea. The various objects for the decoration room should be so selected that no color or design shall be repeated. If you have a living flower, a painting of flowers is not allowable. If you're using a round kettle, the water pitcher should be angular. A cup with a black glaze should not be associated with a tea caddy of black lacquer. In placing a vase or an incense burner on the tokonoma, care should be taken not to put it in the exact center, lest it divide the space into equal halves. The pillar of the tokonoma should be of a different kind of wood from the other pillars in order to break any suggestion of monotony in the room. This lack of symmetry is what makes the balance. It is very, very important, as Kakuzo was saying, to not have a symmetrical room. We cannot have a lot of repetition. Walls can be repetitive in the fact that they are the same color because they're made of the same substance, they're the walls. But if you have a door in one room that's a sliding door, you cannot have one on the other one. You can have windows in the same place. It's an interesting approach to architecture. I really like it. It does also provide a cool challenge. Sorry, excuse me. Now, they mentioned very specifically the tokonoma having that pillar, and there is mentions of pillars like having a strong, important pillar that supports the entire building, while there's a bunch of like smaller, less important pillars. But I like it's literally only here that specifically mentions that it goes in the tokonoma. I haven't found that in other readings, but so I'm not going to pay too much attention to that. These are examples of the garden. This is where you would put a lantern inside of this stone structure. And it says that there is a basin in this picture as well. And I believe it is this line right here. If I'm looking, because I also have it here. This is the water hole right here. This is the bamboo that would help. So that's the cleaning basin. The Orthodox tea room is about 9 feet square, or 4.5 mats, including a hearth. That is not correct. It is not 9 feet square. I think they mean it is a 9 by 9 feet, which is reasonable. Each mat is roughly 1 meter by 2 meters, with, I believe it's 1.3 actually. But that does give you a 3 block by 3 block space to be within the tea house, and I have done that on the Cobblemon world, if you guys remember when I showed you guys that in a different stream. And it is very, very small. You can do almost nothing in there, and the most I could do in there was because I had modded blocks. We are in vanilla. We're gonna have to give us some extra space in order to work out details, because you don't have the modded detail block specifically built for Japan replication. Near the door of the coma, one notices a rack called a katana dana. In former days, this served as a place for male guests to deposit their swords before entering, since the presence of such weapons would destroy the atmosphere of the tea ceremony. One enters the coma through Nijude Guchi, small door only a few feet in height, passes through the aperture. Even those in the highest rank must humble themselves, and the smallness of the door tends to dissociate the participants from the outside world. Sliding shoji were then used in the bigger ones for everyone to enter. Okay, we have sliding shoji for the purposes of kitchen, but you wouldn't use that to enter. Since the tea ceremony calls for subdued light, the tea house has shoji windows. The paper would diffuse the light going into the building. You can put small windows anywhere. They mention it on this page right here. You can see the windows are small and they just go into the wall. We don't have to worry about them because the building is so small. You don't have to worry like, oh, the weight is gonna crush the windows. You have to have a strong sword. It's like, no, you can just put paper windows in there. You'll be fine. These are the katana danas. This is the entrance. These are the garden. Really nice pictures of the garden. And this is an area where people could sit outside, which I might include. Just due to how the building's going to pan out eventually. And this would be the Mizuya, where they keep all the tea, extra stuff in that back room. We're going to have a back room for we'll get there. I don't want to explain it without showing it. Shelves, known as ton of the shelves used by the tea master, located behind a wall with an open lower section. This would be a little slot that goes into the Mizuya. This isn't important because we can't really replicate that in Minecraft. This explains the oven. In winter, the water for tea is heated over a fire in a square container called a ro, which is sunk in the floor. In the latter part of the Momoyama period, a new architectural feature appeared in the tea house, a curved wooden pillar called the nakabashida, which would be this, which was connected with a sorekabe, a wall whose lower portion was open, which I guess is this. There are two opinions regarding the probable reason for this innovation. First, it served to introduce a curved line among the otherwise straight lines of the structure, which would be the anti-symmetry thing that we mentioned. And second, the pillar was essentially a structural form used to support ceilings of differing heights, like the Shoin versus the Soan. The open section of the adjoining wall permits the guest to see the preparation of the tea, but hides the shelf used by the tea master. Because we're already so deep in Muromachi, we are going to be going with the Shoen. But, so we're not going to need a Nakabashida. The open section of the adjoining wall permits the guest to see the preparation of the tea, but hides the shelf used by the tea master. The area behind the pillar and its open wall is called the temeza. The Hosadachi army enters through the Sadaguchi, a different door from that used by the guests. Do they have a picture of that? They do not. That's fine. It is, I believe, just a normal door. There may also be another entrance, the Kyuji-guchi, which is used by servants bringing in tea. In the latter case, there is usually a kate-no-ma, a room adjoining the tea room where the tea is prepared. We actually have this right here. The kate-no-ma is right here. You can see right here. The ante-room is like the in-between the Mizuya preparation area and the actual chasitsu. A room adjoining the tea room where the tea is prepared. Within this room is a section called the Mizuya, which serves as the washing, storage, and display of utensils. So the way in Minecraft is going to work is because it is a tea room, a little bit uncreatively, we're going to be using it to store brewing stuff. And so we're going to have storage of materials within the tea room itself because the brewing stand's already there. We don't want to be walking back and forth to move the materials just for the sake of accuracy to the real tea house. But we want to have the actual structure be accurate to it, right? We want to make our lives convenient while playing Minecraft. We also want to represent the actual building itself in a somewhat accurate manner. And so, along in front of the alcove, I have put barrels for decoration to have a dividing line as well to distinguish the spaces where we're going to be storing a lot of ingredients within. But stuff like excess ingredients or storage that's not as pretty to look at because it's not hidden in the floor with the barrels can go back there and still serve the purpose of being a Mizuya. Like, we can keep gunpowder back there. I mean, or like something, we can have like a storage system where like we split off a mob farm where some of the gunpowder goes to the mob farm and some of it goes into this brewing area. Like, we can figure something out to make it be useful. But for the most part, it's going to be visuals and aesthetics over actual usage. Decorative effects are achieved by the use of the simplest materials, blah, 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 blah. I think that is everything I want to go over in terms of what would seem relevant to today's building. So that being said, put the book down, hide this, and show you the Minecraft. So, I don't know if I've shown you the much progress on this. This is the start of the pagoda. I've been working on designing size, shape, whatever. I think I like the shape, the size. I gotta make it fill in the space with some decorations to make it feel more in spirit, effective, accurate, in use, something. And so this is me figuring out the scale of the roof and playing around with colors. So it's pretty bland right now. I'm not the most happy with it, but it'll get somewhere one day. I still don't like this bamboo. I moved this island up in the air so I can like work around with it. I'm going to build bigger trees. I do like this small tree. I want a variation of sizes of trees. So this is a good small tree. I want to work on a bigger tree. But over here was the start of the tea house. I want to be using the pale oak for this. I think it matches the type of wall they were using in the picture well. And again, we can see here, I'm going to put the entrance here. And then have the host sit here. And this is going to be the area into the other stuff. And so this being a shoji sliding door wall is good. And I was like, maybe we put that on the other side for more light. But it just doesn't work with the vibe we're going for. This is the alcove. You can see I try to use a banner here to represent the back wall being that fabric. But it didn't work out the way I would like it to. I don't have any wool. I don't think. But I have this banner that I took off of Planet Minecraft. I'm going to credit it when I eventually finish building it. I'm not sure if I like it too much, but it is a design choice that I liked. We've got the shelving for some stuff here, and we can see the barrels. So I'll be putting stuff in there. This might be in the wrong corner. If I sit here, then I believe the brewing stand should go there. Now you can see we've got the mats going around like this. Now again, if there were to be the actual size, it would be closer, not exact, but it would be closer to this size. But this is barely any room to exist. So while it works in the modded world, we are not going to be doing that here. I do like how this feels. Just like looking at this, this is a nice place to be in. Thinking we want a back hallway that goes into the ante, the Nama, the Mizuya. But I think just a too long hallway will do. So once we figure out the interior, we will be able to sort out the exterior to be shaped around the way we want it to. Do I like the idea? See, if I were able to go to a real Kasitsu and see the interiors, I would have I would not be having like an issue with this. I do want to mention just quickly the pictures that were on this website of the exteriors. Because like, look at this. There's a little rock in front of the doorway to go in. Now this is the entrance into the Mizuya. You can see here this would be the staff entrance that allows them to do all the kitchen stuff without having to do the crawling. This is not. We don't care about that. These houses all have very angular roofs. I do like that. That's something to keep in mind. The bamboo lattice shows up here. It shows up here. I don't know if we'll be able to do that. The bamboo grills are also a common feature on the windows. So the shoji from the inside would look like shoji, but from the outside it would have the bamboo grills. I can do bamboo lattice with bamboo trapdoors. They look like that. So that'd be easy to replicate. So we can use those as windows. So, since we've decided that I want the pale oak to be the trimmer on the bottom. We can get some bamboo, a lattice to start working on some lighting. See, the thing is, the walls are thin, but we have meter by meter cubes to work with. Alright, I've got an idea. Because there's supposed to be diffusing light, we can put white stained glass in between to make the vision through hazy. It also allows us to put more lights, more lines, pardon, going through. I think that'll do it. I think that works the way I intended to. I do want another window here. It's just it's a very empty wall. Alright, so we then have to make our entrance. Now, we're not designing the garden. We're just designing the tea house. Then when we get to the actual world itself, we can start mining some moss. We're gathering some moss. We can design a couple of trees and start placing them around the tea house. So we want our entrance to be here. So our idea that we had was like... Let me look again at the pictures and see how they typically do it. So there's like an overhang coming over the doorway. And then there's the grill. Over the door. Now how would I get in? Because we want the rocks in front of the doorway. Let me organize this. We can put a stair like this, then like this, and like this, then like this, and that'll give us a perfect circle. You think, or do we like bring it up one? Because then it gets in the way. But like then you would be able to do this. But then I wouldn't be able to fit anyway. Put this here. We have to go into full crawl mode. You know, like that. The door itself was made of a different material. I'm looking at this picture right now. You can see that the door... I can't zoom in. But it's made out of this wood. It's darker wood, and the walls are made out of the beige. With the cream color. So we could try and do something with that, whereas like the trap doors... Because I wanted to have this kind of a shape, but the textures are already too different. Because again, from the inside, it's not pressed up against the wall, so then it works out the way I want it to. But this does mean it makes it a bit of a hassle to get inside. We could just... kind of go like this. Kind of just wave it off. Because it does have to be above the ground. So we could do... It doesn't feel off the ground enough. Because you're supposed to, like, get on your knees and then, like, hobble your way in through the door. Let me see if I can, like, show other examples of this. I don't know if that's the entrance. Let me see. You can see you're kind of like, yeah, sidestepping through the doorway. But this one's also raised above the ground with that little stone there to help you make your way through. We could probably use that, right? Like a... little stone. This is circular, which isn't exactly what we're going for. But also, circles are pretty important. As we know from the Zen gardens that are the dry landscape, circular doors were all the rage. So while this isn't the right location, it is carrying an idea over. Suddenly the idea of vertical slabs appeals to me. I do want to physically make a guest crawl. I feel like that... not making someone enter and crawl is, like, useless with this specific vibe that we want. Like, if we're going to be replicating a tea house, we have to do this. If we're not going to replicate other parts of the feature, we do have to do this one. So now I'm kind of stuck at this one specific hurdle. Well, actually, we're starting the floor up too high to begin with. Because this bottom layer is supposed to be our first block. So with that in mind... I have to make them hot. Yeah. The only way to make me actually shrink is if I had a trapdoor here. I don't want to ruin... Ah. We could probably do it like in a sneaky way, like this. You know? No, that doesn't work. Instead of having the doors swing out, like slide down, we can maybe make it look like it's doing this. It really only works like that, huh? Alright, that's annoying. Alright, fine. That's the only way this door is going to work, so we're going to have to work with that. Alright, the ceiling. This is what we're working with. It's what we must settle for. Okay. Do I like the song? Okay. Let's see. For the ceiling, we want to have it be relatively low. right now we've got 4 blocks of height, and that's like minimum ceiling height for me. And we're not going to keep it brown wool, but I just put a ceiling in place to see what the lighting would be like. Can you not craft a lantern into a soul lantern? Does it have to be a separate item? Oh. That sucks. Now this is too uniform. Like a flat block is not going to cut it. Now let's pretend this actually goes somewhere. Okay. I don't like the 4. This is the closest thing we have to tatami mats. So we're going to have to deal with it. It's not rich enough of a color. But I think this is too rich of a color, you know? Especially because you can't tell the difference when they change direction. Unless you want this. And I don't want that. So like, this is our directionally based block. So you can tell which mat is which mat. It's really like the only choice we have. Maybe oak would be a better color. And then the screen doors can be the only thing birched in the room. Huh. Now the oak feels wrong. Hmm. You can't put it there because of the shelf. We can put the loom in the back room. Yeah, so now we need to detail, because you have to change the banner every now and then, right? So it'd be nice if we kept all our like loom stuff back there. We can hook that up into like an underground sheep farm, and we can send up the wool and have it stored in the back room. I think that'll actually be a good idea. No sorting system because that'll be too much space. But that's an idea. I want to find a good block for the ceiling. We could do bamboo. I do like the grid pattern. I want to have a ceiling that suggests depth without actually having said depth. Because, like, if you look here at the Tokonoma example, you can see these grid lines. Not the grid lines, but you can see the wooden paneling on the ceiling. You see these strips going across. And we don't have the liberty to display that kind of craftsmanship in our ceiling due to just the way Minecraft blocks function. But we could do something that evokes the idea. It is still too flat. So we could do a little bit of variation like this. Which I don't hate. Yeah, that kind of gives me the depth that I want. It does have the adverse effect of giving that not a uniform height on this wall. I do want to keep a uniform height. So on the walls, when they meet the wall, instead of doing that, they could just... Yeah, like if you don't look up, if you don't pay attention to the ceiling, then it does just bury it so that your eyes don't worry about it. That's better. Okay, that's better. The thing is about this, again, the border was just this part of the doorway. But due to the limitations of being in a Minecraft world, we have to make it a block thick. If I direct you again to this one picture that I do really like the interior of. It's like this. Wonderful. Which is a really convenient door to use. Then we can disguise the fact that the doors are inset. Like that. I... I'll do that. Oh! Cracked the hell out of my neck there. Enter the crawl door, tea room to the side. Because look, the rooms weren't actually made of this wood. They were made out of wood. If you remember, diagram from patterns.jp. It has a phrase called exposed wattle. Now, I'm not going to explain the specifics how wattle is made, because to be quite honest, I don't even fully understand how wattle is made. But it is like a cement-like thing. It is not wood. It is malleable. It is used twigs within like the clay to like structure because wattle is the structure within the thing called daub. And daub would be like clay or like mud, and they would like be wrapped around the twigs to uphold the structure. And so like these walls would be made out of the daub, while the wattle is within. So like this, the point is this isn't supposed to be wood, but we're using it for its color. And so the building isn't meant to be. There, have some exposed wattle, whatever. This wall is. Maybe we can have it like pulled to the side, maybe. Or we can have the door on this side. Eh? That can be a strong pillar that's on the alcove kind of thing, maybe. It's no Nakabana. That's not its name. Nakabashida. That's. I got the first 3 syllables and I kind of flubbed it. Alright, so now that we have this area, we can utilize this space to store our wool. So there are 16 colors of wool. And if we have a really small wool farm going with just 1 sheep each, 1 shear each, that fills up almost a double chest. Shears have how much durability? Hold on. They have 238. So if I do 238 divided by 64, 238 is close to 240, 64 is close to 60. So less than 4 stacks of each wool color. If you multiply, it's like what would that be like? What 3 point? I'm gonna say 7. 238, 64, 3.7-ish. And then you multiply that by, let's say, full dispenser worth of shears would be 9. So you get 3 and change stacks. Multiply by 9, that would be 3.7 times 10 would be 37. So then negating that by making it 9 make it like, what, 33? 33 and change, right? Which is a little over a full chest. So let's say we give each one nine shears in a full dispenser. Each one 33. So you multiply that by the 16 colors of sheep that you can have. 33 times 16. 3 times 6 is 8. And there's the change. Hold on, I'm just going to do it on my calculator. Okay, so 33 and change was 33.46875. Multiply that by 16, you get 535.5. Which, if I want to divide that, say, among double chests, which have 27 times 2 slots, which would be 54 slots. So to properly satisfy it, I would need about 10 full chests. If I'm going to use up that, so let's... This is all the storage we're going to need for 16 colors of sheep, each one with 9 shears. Oh, they don't shear just once, do they? I got 2 off of that. It's anywhere from 1 to 4. Isn't it? Sheep shear Minecraft. 1 to 3. They drop 1 to 3. So at minimum, you need 10. But if you max it out, we would need like 30. On average, they're going to drop 2, though. So we would need about 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we're going to fill up a whole wall with these, you think? And then if we're going to sort out storage into them, we could just line it up like this. Oh my goodness, please. Okay, then we're gonna have like a water stream coming up here. Then you put soul sand to make sure it doesn't freeze. Put a block here to ensure. Let's get a bunch of wool. Bam, 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 bam. Dispenser. Now, there is a more efficient way to do this circuit that I'm about to show you all. This is just the one that I memorized years ago. I know there's a better one. I know there's a better one. I cannot for the life of me remember what it is. So y'all are just gonna have to bear with me. So just imagine if you would. some of them are getting caught on the hoppers, which is... I guess the real question is, do they go inside the hoppers when they're stuck here? They don't seem to. So we're going to have to move this line a little bit out. Just like this. Please let me just place this. Oh my god. Thank you. Why would you break that one? Why on God's green earth would you break that one? They all just get funneled into the first here and here. So it's supposed to get auto picked up by the hoppers below it. Like, it's supposed to automatically go down this way before it goes forward. But if it doesn't, we can live with that. The thing is, this is going to be level with the... Let's say I have like a floor in front of this. I can still access this part right here. Right? So that's convenient for me. I can put the chest there, and so it would be lining up with this pale oak area. Which would still leave the issue with the roof, the ceiling needing to align that way. Another thing is that this does make the building look very flat from the front. So we have an option where we can sink this in one in order to create that asymmetry that we are craving. Hey man, thank you. No, I don't like that it's centered. So we can move it across that way. That way it's no longer centered behind the person, The sliding door still exists. Supporting pillar. We got... I think that works better. Okay, so they distributed themselves pretty weirdly. That's not really going to matter. That's... I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I'm okay with it. I don't have room to sort it. I don't. If I am to... Now that I'm... Okay. How do I... Alright, think of it this way. Basically, To elaborate. Due to... Oh my god, why is the neighbor so loud? Jesus. I'm just gonna check if it picks up the microphone. Okay, it should be fine. You pick up every single sound that I do with my mouse. I can't even do anything about that. But that is annoying though. Oh, I have 4 here. I put the chest in the floor. I have 4 as well. 4 across. I do want 5 across, don't I? So, let's say I have 2 blocks of walk room here. Then we're going to put this here. There's 1 deep in the floor. Like that. And then I get some slabs out. If I put this extended that way for 1 walk, this is not a walk room that I want to be able to have space to maneuver things. And then I can put like... this for the banner patterns. This for the dies. And just any random banner on top. So you're like, this is an example of what we're doing. And then you can hang it from the wall there. I want to hang it diagonally, but I don't exactly have that option. And we can get like some trapdoors here and be like, that's what it's hanging from. Now the chest not being full blocks do reveal the inconsistencies we don't want to be, like the gaps that we don't want visible. Hoppers will go back here. And the water will come from here. So if we keep the ceiling consistent, the chest would still be able to open even if I move them up, but then the water would have to be into the roof, which this means that we won't have to deal with that issue. So this is better. And we can then do this to make it look like some lattice windows are showing. And beneath, we can do this. Now the workstations are something nice. Actually, I think the tatami mats would carry over through here. Is these the bottom half? Yeah, they are the bottom half. Awesome. So whatever pillar is going to be coming up, we won't be seeing it. So we can just make it out of cobblestone. I think I currently have more normal cobblestone, but they're more useful in recipes. I'm going to use my cobble deep slate. Just to quickly represent, we're not going to actually use cobble deep slate because we have to make the sheep barn first. But this will be going through. Let me put a torch down so it doesn't melt, because I don't have any bubbles going through it. Yeah, I don't hate this little corner. I like it. It might be better to have my little line there. Let me just do that. And we can remove that for now, so we can actually put something decorative in there. And then we can put more shelves here. Let's put another decorative plant. Actually, there's not a lot of room in here. They do often have like trays on the floor. I think both to go along with, we can have like a cleaning station for the dishes, and then we put them like on a high shelf to dry. We don't use dishes like this. We use other colors of dishes. Or you can use sea pickles to look like cups. I do that often. And then like trays. I think this works for what it is. I think this is a completed interior. It feels open and airy, but it's also asymmetrical. It's also a little bit, it's humble, it's small. Well, small for a Minecraft build, that is. Again, 3 feet blocks. I think it does feel enough like Japanese architecture. Like it does give a vibe, especially with the writings, the bamboo lattice, the sliding doors of the shoji, the paper windows. I think this is a nice build. And now that we've completed the interior, I'm going to work on the exterior by myself. Off stream, and we're going to go on to the actual server for the final part of the stream to get a couple of things done. Alright, now we're back on the server. Hello. My ping is going to be garbage because we've just logged on. Give it a second. It typically fixes itself. Also... relogging tends to do it. Alright, so we've got every single villager we need, except for a power 5 enchantment villager. Ugh. But we'll live, because we got a power 4 book that had mending from a rain. They gave us that book, and we already had a power 4 unbreaking bow, and so I just added flame and punch 2 on top of that, and now we have a maxed out bow. So if we ever lose this bow, that'll be an issue. But right now, that's fine. It's fine. We're fine. How many emeralds do we have? I'm gonna quickly grab some more. Oh. Hey man, just quit it with the carrots. See if we can like quickly get in there. Oh goodness gracious. Yeah, I'm gonna leave a few empty rows for carrots. Cause I've turned the farm off, but these villagers like to miss. Well, they try to throw carrots at each other, so put them in here so we can trade with them later. But we're gonna trade this iron real quick. Hey, buddy. But I don't know if I'm pretty sure I mentioned a couple of these, but I've named these all after different parts of armor that are with samurai. I am not a samurai expert. I study art history, not samurai culture. So this is the very, very tiny amount of research. Helmets were called kabuto. Chestplates were called do. Now again, there are very different variants of helmets and chestplates and styles throughout the years, just not my area of study. We have haidate, leggings, and gegutsu. Now, haidate is specifically thigh armor, and there is a secondary armor for the shins called this. Oh, hold on. I don't want to make it. I don't just want to be lying. Suneate. So haidate is thigh, suneate is shin guards. Haidate is thigh guards. And so, if you look at the size of boots, they do cover your shins. So I did fight with myself what I call it suneate, and decided there's actual samurai shoes called kegutsu, and so I'll use those for the name. Kegutsu, you haven't really found, like, I know that they are samurai shoes based on me like searching it up. They are not like armored, but they are the shoes that a samurai wears. They're so it doesn't matter. Segayate or Kegutsu, either way. This is a sword called Sagabato. This is not like a specific sword that samurai used or nothing. This is in fact a sword never used by a samurai because it is from the anime Rurouni Kenshin, where the main character is a Rurouni and not a samurai. So I'm gonna watch Rurouni Kenshin at some point. I watched it a while ago when I was younger. A couple of episodes, like maybe a season's worth. Some of the things I watched some of the live action versions, like sporadic interactions with it, but I really liked what I saw. And so I want to go back in today's day and age and actually finish it, start to finish, Rurouni Kenshin. And nothing else has special names, but I do have a maxed out Silk Touch and Fortune. Oh, I haven't maxed out my Fortune pickaxe. Okay, so I need to add Efficiency. Oh, it's not even Efficiency 4. I have an Efficiency 4, not an Efficiency 5 pickaxe. Okay, so we got to redo both our pickaxes. Then we have a maxed out axe. Now, is Efficiency 4 the max? No, it isn't. Efficiency 5 is the max. Yeah, it is Efficiency 5 is the max. Because I enchanted these through an enchanting table, so I'll have to redo that. Efficiency 4 is good enough for what we need, though. We have a maxed out shovel that we got from Luna. So for the most part, we'll be fine. We don't need any new tools or anything. I do have one project that I want to do, which I won't be finishing today. But what we are going to be doing today is finishing the slime farm that we never actually got around to making. And that is for a very special reason. I'm going to make a tunnel bore in the nether for netherite. Now, we are going to have to get some ancient debris to start with in order to get more ancient debris to make it, because the tunnel bore requires you to use ancient debris. Due to the fact that it is a block that can be pushed by a piston but cannot be exploded by TNT, it makes it very, very useful in terms of making a functioning tunnel board. So where are my shears? I might have thrown them out because my inventory was full, or I might have left them somewhere. That's fine. Nope. Awesome. I put this door on sideways, right? Yeah, I did. I put it on sideways so they wouldn't try and break in. Let me fix that. There you go. We're still going to keep it sideways. We can put the special light just somewhere for decoration until we need it at some point. I put them in here! Okay, well. Pumpkins. What do you think? Okay, so we're going to grab 13 for now. Nope, another 10. So it works out in the end. We're gonna go down to our caves. We're gonna need fences and the ability to dig. So, if you guys have ever seen a slime farm, actually, let's grab. We have 2 torches in inventory. Let's grab our coal, charcoal. Let's grab some sticks. Nope, wrong chest. Nope, wrong chest. There it is. That should do it. We should only need... No. No, we're gonna need more. Oh, where's my furnace? Where's my blast furnace? There it is. I have a lot of coal in these, surely. I have 26 in each of those, 26 in each of these. I'm going to take 1 from each. And then we'll get some more pumpkins. Basically, slimes can spawn in any light level if they're inside of a slime chunk, but they can't spawn at any Y level, so you start digging from Y30. And that means other mobs will not spawn if you light up the environment, but pumpkins being a solid block will count as a spawnable surface for the jack-o'-lantern specifically. As a light source, a solid block, they will allow slimes to spawn on top of them, therefore giving us more slime. If we put torches down, 1, they count slightly towards the entity limit, and they cause some lag. Not entity limit, and they count somewhat as an entity, and therefore they produce lag if you have too many torches around. And so the optimal way to make a slime farm is to have the full square of a chunk, jack-o'-lanterns within each layer, of which is 3 blocks tall, and then on the floor of that 3 blocks tall area, that is where you would put your jack-o'-lanterns within that floor, so that the slimes can spawn on top of it, and then they would walk towards a iron golem, which is why we're getting more pumpkins. Alright. Just going to take all of them for now. Oh, that actually made up a full stack. Okay. So because we're going to need slime for the tunnel board, because it's a slime-built flying machine, we're going to need to gather a bunch of slime, which is why we're going to actually finish the slime farm that we started the other day. And when we do a couple of digging bits, then we should probably call it then. Slime farm is in this direction. Well, where the slime farm is going to be is in this direction. Here it is. So we have started digging it from the top. Hello. Yeah. Basically, I have done the whole netherite manual tunneling with TNT, placing it, breaking it, placing it, exploding it, going over and over. And I'm sick of it. I'm real tired of it. So what we're going to do instead is try a new way of going through the nether to do something new in Minecraft. And also, because we have a silk touch pickaxe now, we get smooth stone instead of all the cobblestone we have. This is the first layer we had. We already have an iron golem. Oh, brother, who hurt you? Oh, you started suffocating, didn't you? I remember you did that. And this is the first layer of where slimes can spawn. We're gonna have to grab magma blocks after we're done here. Basically, now we're here, and we're digging. And this is not the most glorious process, but eventually it'll tire me out so much that I actually have to do the things... I'll actually only be able to do the things that I have too much creative energy to do. Like, basically, I have assignments. As you all know, I have classes. I study art history, right? I have to go to the classes to study them, and so tomorrow I have class, and I don't have the energy to... I don't have, like, the right mindset to work right now. I tried to do it. I tried to focus myself, but really it's not working. So let me try to get rid of all the stuff, of the other things I can do. Which would include me trying to edit. And I'm like, nope, not in the right mindset for that either. I need to do something with my hands that is not editing, that is not working. So we're here. We're gaming. I even played some Marvel Rivals this morning because I had to get my daily quest done. And that was also a whole bust. I was like, I am doing this because I have to finish dailies, but I had to close it as soon as I got all of them. I also went on like a lost win, and like competitive. I couldn't catch a break. I hate it. Oh my god. I just wanted 2 wins in a row. Yeah, now we're in the podcast portion of the stream. We talked for like roughly an hour about architecture in the real world. Then we talked for roughly an hour about how to implement that architecture into the Minecraft world. And now we actually gotta like work on the world. Each stream's 3 hours, gang. I'm truly becoming the pinnacle of planning things out and sanctioning time. I'm becoming more responsible and everything. Oh my god, guys. Slowly, very slowly. I'm understanding the benefits of like you know, there's like a moment in your life where like you brush your teeth because you have to, and then you brush your teeth and like, damn, I need to brush my teeth to help me. Like, there's like a mindset switch. I'm going through a lot of those recently. Like I went to bed at like 1-ish last night, and I woke up at 8:30 today. Like, so I went to bed at 1-ish, and woke up at 8-ish, right? And so it's like, I got my full 7 hours. I'm like a functioning adult, gang. Ugh. And I tried to go back to sleep, and like I did get sleepy. But that's because I was laying in the bed, and the bed gives you sleepy thoughts. The bed makes your brain want to go to bed. So like your body can have like certain areas where like your instincts kick in. So like if you lay down in bed, you'll get tired. Because if you do other things in your bed besides sleep, then it'll stop being a place for sleep. So like you have to have a place that's sanctioned for work. And so like my desk is sanctioned for both. I'm having an issue where I have my desk where I'll be in work mode for a while, and so when I go to my desk to play games, and it's like I don't really feel like playing video games. But once it becomes a gaming area again, it's like I don't really feel like doing work. And so I need a place to work versus a place to game. Those can be like the areas where like my body will immediately get into the right mindset, you know? But the only other place I have is like the kitchen, which is a public space in an apartment such as this, or my bed, which is the place where I sleep, so I cannot work there. But like there's a difference between work sitting down and work laying back. So like that does help, having that distinction. Let me go downstairs real quick. I had a chest here before, if you guys remember it, but I moved it because I needed it for another purpose. I was like, all right, well, I'm never going to do this again because I'm not finishing that slime one. But now I'm going to finish the slime one. So it's actually really important to put it back here now. Where all this bump? Just accidentally kept that on me. Okay. Hero skill. Oh, buddy, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, god damn. Yeah, so I guess being an adult tips with your girl. I should probably go into the earlier floors and play some jack-o'-lanterns. Because they only needed now in this version need to be light level. Anything above light level 0 is non-spawnable for mobs. I could probably get away with a lot more. A lot less lighting. So let me do go up here. We're gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put 5. And that should light up the whole zone, you think? So it'll be 1, 2, 3 to the center. It'll be 1, 2 here, and blink, and 1, 2. Actually, where the torches are right now is actually perfect. Let me just put 1, 2, 3, 4. Here these. Uno, dos, tres. 1, 2, 3. Towards the center. Okay. So 1, 2. Actually, we do it in the corner here. 1, 2, 3. And that way I can just go to the between points of each of these. And then let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put stun block there for now. Not for now. That's going to be there permanently. Where is music? No, it's screw it. Let's put on Blackberry. What else can I talk about? What wisdom can I bestow? Invincible's good. I've been watching the media. I've been watching TV shows. I think people are being too mean to Invincible. Like, Season 1 had some really nice moments of animation. There are some parts of the new animation where it's like, why would you do that? But it's not even like the animation's bad, because I think most of the season has really good animation. There's some bits where like, oh, the model is a bit off there, or that's just a PNG floating across the screen. But, like, they disguise the floating PNGs very well. Like, I was speaking about this to Ray the other day. There's a scene in Invincible, the episode based on the Invincible War comic, where there's a scene of like 8 characters that are flying, but like they're rising into the air hesitantly, like they're looking around, and so like you hear in their voices that they sound hesitant, that they sound worried, they're a little bit confused, and then you're like, so even though it's just 8 PNGs of the characters floating up, even the ones with capes, the capes are not like billowing in the wind or anything. It is just PNGs rising. But on my first watch, I didn't notice. Because it was just really well like disguised with the setting that they were in. Like you kind of just like lose focus of the fact that they're just going up on the screen. Especially because like when you can fly, you don't really need to put in the way that superheroes fly. They don't need to put effort into flying. They just think and they go up. You know, you don't have to like thrust yourself into the air. You don't have to flap your arms like a bird to maintain height. Like, you just will be in the air if you're a superhero. So it's really just the capes that will cue you into something wrong. Like, people are complaining that Immortal, after he showed up to talk to Alan in a different episode in space, that he just kind of floated back to Earth while in a standing position. And it's like, yeah, he's a superhero that can fly. They don't really need to like put effort into flying. He can just, you know, slowly go back to Earth while standing up. There's nothing wrong with that. But there isn't like in the finale where like they're gonna put more budget into the finales, just due to the way that like if they have a limited budget, they want the finale to have the most final impact on a viewer, so that they remember how good the show was, rather than like give a final good give a good final impression. But they kind of went overboard with it, where they animate Invincible the character's hair with the most detail I've ever seen. Like it's just like bouncing around, floating. It's insane. Like you watch the episode, like he got knocked down, like you know he's winded, his breath is gone, like he got hit really hard. He's like trying to pick himself. He's like, oh man, I got my world rocked. Jesus, my head, but his hair, it's just every single strand is meticulously animated. Every tuft of hair is bouncing as he's like shaking his head. He's like, whoa, oh man, I'm out of it. Like it's so overly detailed in comparison to the rest of the show, the rest of the episode. It's like it's not even like prettily animated at that point. Like it's way too distracting to even be called the good animation. Like it's really upsetting to look at just how much hair is moving. Like in the previous episode, in the Invincible War episode, based on the specific issue, right? There's a scene where like the villains are all staring at the fires of the cities they destroyed, and it's really nice shading, and the fire is in the eyes, and like it's really nice lighting. It's a little extra animated. Like the fires are very detailed, and a little extra detailed because they're allowed to keep this static shot on the face of the villains, and so the detail does not distract. It's just like, whoa, this one scene's really nice in comparison to the more flat shading of the rest of the show. And so, like, that one I'm more okay with. It is still distracting because you do cut from the flat shading due to the budget limitations of all the other scenes straight into beautifully shaded. But it's not like an ugly amount of animation. Like, it's not an ugly amount of shading where it's like, it distracts. You know, like, there's a difference that can be defined. Is really what I'm trying to get at here. I'm having fun going down this. That's awesome. I'm not gonna need that. Okay. Now that we are starting work on the third layer, we're gonna put in a second iron golem. So we got to work on that right now. It's gonna go 4 blocks tall, 2 blocks above. Alright. So if this is my third layer, this is my gap. So it's 2 blocks above here. That's 4 blocks tall. And now we're just going to put this here to remind us that we're going to have to work on that when we get to that point. I've awoken from my slumber. Epic time? That's awesome, buddy. Epic time indeed. I'm just yapping until I get like a significant amount of progress done on this thing. And then I'm like, alright, well, I've done my part. You can call it quits for now. So I want to finish up digging this layer and putting in the iron golem. Getting that, nerd. I think ads are meant to be like, they take up like, what, like 60 seconds? So they put just as many ads as they can fit into 60 seconds as possible. Well, now we know what ad they got. We're doing great, gang. Oh, not what I meant. Not joining the military? Oh, how about you? Why not? Pop is crazy. Are you getting all... I think you got all the same ads I got. I got those 3 exact ads as well on my... Okay. That's insane. I got the ad for Pop Soda. I got the ad for I think it was TurboTax. I also got a military one. That's insane. We are the exact same demographic now, dude. I actually think it's just... They think those ads will specifically apply to anyone that's watching Minecraft because soda is a drink enjoyed by 18 to 24 age range. The military is... They want to hire you if your age is 18 to 24. And if you're 18 to 24, you're starting to get into your taxes. You can do my taxes. I'll allow it. It's literally just the ads targeted at specifically people who watch Minecraft. I don't have taxes. I don't meet I don't meet the wage range in order to do taxes. I don't have to file jack squiddly dat. I don't have an income like that. No, I'm kidding you. Back when I even had like a more substantial income than I do now, because because my other job, I still didn't make enough money for I never got a single call, and I even asked my parents, like, "Hey, should I be doing taxes?" Like, no, you you actually don't have to do them right now. I'm like, okay, I guess, sure, if you say so. $17 per month? No, you don't. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I made more than that. I made 18 or something. But genuinely, like, we checked. The government didn't want my taxes. So I don't know what to do with that information. We made sure. They just didn't care for him. Which I'm a little offended by. But I'm not going to take it too much to heart, because that means no taxes. An AJR concert. Oh my god, those are the guys with the world's smallest violin. Oh, hold on. Well, don't mind if I do. Not what I came here for, but... One more. There you go. Big time rush. What? Wow, wow, wow. There it is. Oh, there it is. That is another layer of the slime farm. I can work on this later. I do genuinely have to do other things. So, thank you all so much for watching. I did my things. That one couple days. You dreamt that you spilt your coffee? That's awesome. Thank you all so much for watching. I must disappear now. I must go now, even. I must wander upon that midnight journey. Poem reference. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune